Sorry about the wait. Unfortunate timing with something that came up. However, I'm dealing with it. Life always has little surprises. Today, the opening already looks open. We'll be opening this box of Lorwyn Eclipsed from Magic the Gathering. You have to take cover on top of a streetlight? What do you mean? Oh, you mean like in Helldivers. I was picturing that I was like, what? One moment. Need to calibrate. Okay, so also wearing the black sleeves today. Yeah, Bruiser, I kind of thought about that too, about how, like, jumping on streetlights and stuff and games and whatnot, or jumping on trash cans and all that. The original Lorwyn block that got you into Magic the Gathering? Interesting. Just making sure everything's working. As a reminder, this HANDCAM setup is in it's like a different computer, a different setup than the main streaming one. Yeah, it does look nice with the glass. I really like this style, especially this. You said emo? Wow. I'll take it. Just wait until I have, like, different, like, face texture stuff that maybe is even more kind of emo in a way. So I've had this box for a while. Emoji, oh my goodness, that's perfect. Oh my goodness. Secretly cosplaying Final Fantasy outfit. That's actually pretty funny. Yeah, money, makeup, and cunning. I've had this box, like, from Fred. I've had it for a while. Now there's actually a new set out, the Ninja Turtles. And Secrets of Strixhaven is just around the corner. So at this point, it's a little bit older, but not too old. The style of this set and, like, the kind of lore that John C. explained a while back had me pretty interested in it. I feel like they explained the lore, like, a bit on Discord last year. You use those kind of gloves when you're working on diesel stuff? Wow, interesting. They are really comfy. Okay. Here we go. And hello everyone again. Sorry about the long wait. I may have to edit out a portion of the intro for those that rewatch stuff. Although some streamers, like on Twitch, go like 20 minutes before they start. Wow, there's like a bridge troll kind of. I don't really do that typically. Especially too because I don't have like a unique playlist of music. it had the flip between flame can and cinders. I'm not familiar with what that is. Just in time. And hello to everyone familiar and new. The suspense, yeah. I have kind of like spooky music a little bit. Thank you. Scan this code to probably learn how to play the game. Oh wow, these packs look really gorgeous. What the heck? Oh, they alternate too. Yeah, Lorwyn, a land where it got turned to darkness, and it has been dark for so long that people that live in Lorwyn, I guess, don't even remember it being sunny. Like, almost like it's a myth. Also, I don't know why my map isn't moving, but I'll have to fix that at a later time. Flamekin are like, oh, I see, like the flaming people. And cinders are on the night side, where the fire is nearly all out. Yeah, 30 packs, I believe, with like, I think 15 cards per pack. Okay, testness. Well, other than the bending of the box, pretty tight. Not extremely tight. A little bit of loose action on the pullback. A little bit of moving. But it also might be because the box is kind of... It's loosened up over time, like sitting... Like not being wrapped up anymore. It's sort of become a little bit more loose. You haven't seen anything from this set? Me neither. Well, I think, like, in the collector's version, there's, like, Japanese artwork for fairies. Thank you, Mahi. And for those that haven't been here in a while, like for the HANDCAM, wait, why are they so, like, off-centered? Can you see that? What the heck? Why is it like that? I guess it's just the way they're wrapped, or maybe... No, it's probably just... Probably... Yeah, it's probably, on my end. A little track of... Yeah, it's probably... Anyways. This is a new HANDCAM setup where it can be like this. Or it can be like this. Or it can be like this. And then you see like the wrinkly edges. Maybe it means, yeah, take every single little detail and it's like, oh, maybe that means there'll be something special. Cinematic options, yeah. Oh my goodness. Magic cards, there are like so many per stack, it's crazy. Okay, it is time to venture. I think the land is called Lorwyn, but I don't know 100%. Casting your Kaka spell of luck. A new magic expansion? Well, technically, this is older now. There's another one after it, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle one. And then the next one is Secrets of Strixhaven, I believe. And happy lurking to anyone that is. Wait, what are these made? Let me adjust the focus a little bit. Oh yeah, let me scroll up for a second. I believe I saw someone resubscribed earlier. Yeah, hidden for 15 months. I don't know if they're still here right now, but oh wow, I just realized my outfit matches these colors like super well. It might be congrats on 6 months. The music is it's so epic. Guardian Angel colors, yeah. Although Guardian Angels are not exclusively colored black. All the little details always working out, yeah, in a way. Made in the USA, okay, so they're not made in Japan. Some of the sets are made in Japan, and so the print quality and whatnot is different. Let me check something real quick. I'm trying to fix something with my mouth. One moment. I have to like duck down to look underneath a big plank of wood. Okay, I'll have to look into that, like, fixing the mouth thing. Okay. Wow, that time opened up like super easy. 3 times the luck. Thank you, David. And you even included a 4-leaf clover. Okay, so I don't know the looters that we shall see. Right after that with a token. Okay, let me zoom it in a little bit. So I don't have to raise it up. I really like this song. Well, I guess I can just flip it. and see what the order is. Well, now I need to adjust the focus. Beep boop boop boop. There we go. Yeah, anti-orchestra back at it. I did see some artwork that you all did with the anti-orchestra, but I haven't officially seen it because I haven't fully looked at it yet. So we have Ghost Rider, or whatever that one character is. And so it looks like it's starting off with commons. It would be really nice if it's commons into uncommons into rare, instead of like some weird pattern you have to do. Heirloom Auntie. Is that Auntie or Auntie? Our first little fairy. I know you can't see it super well, like the artwork. The one downside of having the camera up so high. That's interesting artwork. It kind of has a really classic magic feel to it. Almost reminds me of like the workshop ones, like a snow-covered workshop or something like that. I don't know what sets those are found, but I've just seen them over time. Assert Perfection. What a name. Mischievous Sneakling. The changeling felt that the most important part of making new friends was the element of surprise. Interesting. I'm not, well, not that I like play or whatever, not as much now, but I've never really been one into the like dual color cards. Okay, wait, this is interesting. This is a common card, but look, the picture goes out of the frame. That's interesting. I wonder. Interesting. And it's just a common card. But it's interesting that this has like a picture out of the frame. Because they're colorless? That's an interesting thing. No math, no complaints. That reminds me. There's a series, I don't know like what channel it's on, but it has like Ludwig and someone named Michael. But it's a series called Tip to Tip, where we travel from like one tip of the country to another. And this recent one is China. And it's pretty interesting. Wow, they throw a hovel hurler. Maybe an alignment malfunction? I don't think so in this regard. It seems like on purpose. If it is an accident, that'd be crazy. But it seems like it's an extended sort of border, even though it's just common. Which I guess in a way kind of makes the extended border like not so special. Because, I mean, if it's used on a common card, then take care, Bruiser, and have fun with your friends. Interesting little fairy assassin. putting like thorns in their face or something. Or actually, nightmare so, or maybe it's like growing out of their eyes. Okay, yeah, we're moving through the uncommons, and now the rare reading schemes. And you can see like the icon, kind of like an eclipse a little bit. Okay, starting off with a mythic. Morning Tide's Light. Interesting, I've not heard of that. But yeah, if I pull that, I will mention it in case you're listening. If I says or if you're not listening, I could always let you know next time I see you. You're this is pretty neat. Like a slug. It's a red-white one. It seems so popular, like dual color cards. Or a snail, yeah, not a slug. And then, you know, like it says on the box right here, guaranteed foil in every pack. Everyone gets a trophy. That's Magic the Gathering for you. With it, you know, the foil on this one, it's not terrible. It also, well, no, it doesn't have the extended border like that common did. This foil's not bad though, it's actually kind of nice compared to some of the foiling we see where it just rolls over the whole thing. Even though this whole one looks foily, it seems kind of bogus in areas too. Yeah, Japanese foils, like for different like card games like White Sports and stuff. Wow, that's a really beautiful land card. Like a basic land. And then the token. That's a lovely land card. Yeah, I really like this. Very nice. The little kind of like the set symbol up here. That is really nice. Well, first pack. Yu-Gi-Oh! Foils go the hardest. I've only opened the 2 boxes and I opened everything. I know the life of the foiling that I've seen is pretty nice. Though I think Flesh and Blood may be some of my favorite foiling, although Gundam also had really good foils too. Really good textures and like designs. Anything binder worthy? Maybe. I would say that Magic is one that I'm not heavily drawn to putting them in the binder. I was for a little bit, but I have slowed down a little bit on putting Magic the Gathering in the binder. That is a really nice token though. Alphonse, Mucha, I'm probably saying it wrong. Basically pioneered the art of like the elves. the elvish look that you see a lot in promotional portrait art. That is interesting. Oh wow, so they inspired a lot of, I'm guessing, this sort of artwork, like vibe. I don't want to look it up real quick. Oh wow, their artwork is gorgeous. Is that like during the Art Deco period? Maybe not, maybe that's different, but that is really gorgeous. What the heck? Yeah, their artwork is really lovely. Thank you for sharing the Benny. The card was double-sided because it's a token card. They're kind of like really basic utility cards. They have different purposes. It feels so flimsy, like compared to the Japanese cards and whatnot. This feels so like, if you look back, the last time I opened Magic the Gathering was Final Fantasy, so it's been a while. Iron Nuvo? Is that what I'm saying? Art Deco is dwarvish. Oh, I see what you're saying. Art Nuvo is elvish. Oh, okay. Hello, Dingle and Baska. Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking, Yarla. About the Art Deco in the 20s. Less paper, like eco-friendly. Yeah, possibly. The US, printing is gonna have a different quality than the Japanese, even though you think that they use the same materials and whatnot. I don't know all those processes. That's an interesting one. Silver, Gill, Peddler. Rare cards. Yeah, there's pretty much a rare in every pack. Mostly I'm just sort of exploring it and just seeing what happens. An interesting one. I like the environment, like the clouds and whatnot. There's like very subtle like birds. Advertisement illustration. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Some of that artwork that popped up when I looked it up definitely had that kind of potentially poster vibe, like advertising fragrances or something really nice. Hello, Daniel. Which, now that you mention it, I feel like there are some artists that, like you said, that definitely pull inspiration from their work. Lofty dreams. This would have been interesting, like a description. I'm curious what it would have been. Yeah, now that you pointed out the difference between the two sides, like one side being the flame side and the other side being like the, I guess, kind of like night vibe. Pretty interesting. Flame can. Wait, did it actually say flame can? No, it didn't. I thought maybe in here it said it. Well, that's interesting looking. Aurora Awakener. That's a vibe. 7/7 Giant Druid. That's pretty neat. A mythic, and I don't know if this is called a showcase. I'm not sure. But it's really quite stylish looking. Lots of words right here, but mostly a description of vivid magic gummy birds. Gummy worms. You see the number? Oh, like 7 attack, 7 power, or defense. 7 power, 7 defense, something like that. I think it's like card number 323. Take care, Nyarla. Resident Evil had a poster recently depicting its characters explicitly in Mucha's style. Oh, interesting. Now that you pointed it out, I'm gonna be seeing it everywhere. That is pretty neat. Probably look really good in foil too. So blurry down there. Yeah, it doesn't do it for you though. Yeah, like that. The gummy worm one. Understandable. This is such a nice basic land card. 6/7. Oh wait. Oh, at the top. Hmm. Okay, we have 10,000 more packs to go. These are opening up so differently from what we're used to opening. Whatever I just saw was like a double-sided card coming up. Yeah, so definitely if you like elves and fairies, giants and whatnot, this is definitely a set for you. Tweez, what an interesting card. Oh wow, actual Nouveau French architecture. That's interesting. I was just saying to Elvish buildings, IRL. Wow. I bet that is gorgeous. Almost like a storybook. Yeah. Tree Folk Warlock. Apparently this is a warlock. Whoa, tokens. Yeah, tokens are like in every pack, from my understanding. And a lot of them are double-sided, you're right. I guess they weren't always like that, I don't know. It's an interesting one, keep it out. We don't want your kind around here. Wow, literally not even around here. We don't want your kind around here. Oh, sure, John. So yeah, where the tokens used to have, like you said, game tips or like advertisements for the game on the back. Like Friday Night Magic or something. That's interesting. Eclipsed Flame Kin. Hello, Tyler. I'm interested in other. I wonder what these are called, like the framing. So this is an uncommon. But this framing, though, it must be unique to this set, like a. I don't know what it's called. Pretty interesting. And actually, if we are last year, this is extremely like the Art Nouveau. I believe I'm saying that correct, I don't know, but this is so much like that artwork that they were showing. That's pretty nice looking. Yeah, something about the framing of it. Oh wow. Okay. Wasn't this person like banned or something? Like wasn't this like a banned card? Or maybe I'm thinking of a different set. A Planeswalker, yeah. I don't get Planeswalkers very often. This is also a flip card. Yeah, I really don't get Planeswalkers often. I feel like getting a what's her name? I'm like War the Spark and all that. I don't know why I can't think of the name. So I guess the framing is called Fabled Framed cards. It's pretty neat to get like a Planeswalker with like an 8-pack. Well, Evolving Wilds, like Oily. Yeah, Liliana, that's totally it. We'd love to get like a full art, or even like the Japanese Liliana of the Veil. The Japanese War of the Spark. Okay, yeah, so I was right, the Elka got banned. That's wild. I wonder why, I don't really know too much about like why cards get banned. I just assume people think they're like broken or something, like the mechanic. A rather productive day, Tyler. Not without its challenges, of course. Hello, Jiva. And Hara Green. Oh my goodness. Treasure in every pack. If it's a duplicate, I'll just go right past it. That's kind of cool, seeing like the Eclipse. Again, with the little eclipse in the background. I love that. Oh wow, this must be really common, like this framework. I like this art style too, that's cute. Eclipsed Marrow. Oh, it's a merfolk. Yeah, the surreal style, I do like that quite a bit. That's really cute. It seems kind of common though, like getting these special fabled frames. Lizard. A char lizard. Oh, I see our green. That's interesting. Another mythic. That looks like one of those little creatures, like in Minecraft or whatever, axolotl, like in caves and whatnot. An axolotl that's like a dinosaur. Okay, and then this one foil. That's really lovely. So far, all the land cards have been really nice. Whether full art or even like this. Wait, I just now realized, wait, there's a third artwork on the packs. What the heck? Waifu on the packs. What the heck? I was just thinking, like, I thought, I wonder if they added, like, a different character to the packs, if it would be, like, a little bit, more appealing. And then all of a sudden, like, boom. I did not expect that. That's actually crazy. Because I was thinking about that Planeswalker, I was like, if he was on one of these packs, it would probably be pretty attractive to, like, from a monetary perspective. And then suddenly, boom, this World of Warcraft, like, Dragonflight character popped up. Wow. The character designs, Wizards, Warlocks, and Waifus, yeah. Sounds like the new card game. Wizards and Waifus. These cards, like, stick together, kind of interesting. Apparently this is a goblin. Duplicates. Interesting. That was cute. The changeling thing. Changeling? That seems like a pretty interesting mechanic, like to have a bunch of changeling creatures. Organizing your room? That sounds productive. Make things more simple and easy. Hello, Berg. I too have been organizing and cleaning and putting things in their places. getting more efficient, more optimized. Wow. Again with the little Eclipsed in the background. The cars just keep sticking. It's so interesting. Or like it'll slide very well against each other. That's a pretty powerful card. Wait, a 1/1 green and white. Interesting. Then we got Legolas's sister, Dawn White Archer, with that sort of classic or like retro artwork. That's pretty nice. Her foot seems to be almost like a Draenei. Flash and Reach, nice. Oh, that's pretty good. That's actually a nice card. Those for fee, yeah. You say the AI found its way? You think this is AI? What makes you say that? The style is kind of like what we were talking about earlier, I guess like I knew the kind of vibe. But I'm curious what makes it scream AI? Or were you joking? Because like the feet, fellow strategies. Or maybe the place to have arrows? Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. I know that there was like a card though where I don't know what step. But it was like so clear that the person like drew over an older card, which was wild, like complete just plagiarism of an earlier Magic card. Oh my goodness, none of these open up so weird. Okay, yeah, that's good. I'm glad that they take a stance. There are some card games that I really don't know. Like there's one that I wanted to open a box of or get a box, and it's I don't know the name of it offhand, but it's kind of like anime style. But no one really knows if they use AI or not, at least last I checked. It's a smaller card game. This is why you cover your ears when you sleep. Magic is too tied in to its art quality. It's bad business for them to allow AI. Yeah. Liminal hold. I like this one. You wear headphones when you sleep. I don't know if that's a good thing though. That seems like a bad thing a little bit. Oh wow, that one's gorgeous. Another fabled frame, which they do seem very common. This is not common, but like the rarity of these don't seem that rare, but this is gorgeous. Wow. Two starfalls and other tails. Look to the sky and you can still see them together, searching for their perfect home. I mean, technically you could listen to whatever without headphones and just have your phone or something nearby. And like, for example, on YouTube, you can set a sleep timer. If you click the little gear, you can set a timer so it stops after the video or after a certain amount of time, even auto-playing. Or I guess you could, take off the headphones when you feel like you're about to drift all the way. My food cards, kind of. Another crash test set for the recycling bin. Oh wow, this card did foil. Not bad, actually. You know what? I gotta say, I gotta hand it to them. They've done a lot better in this set when it comes to the foiling. Instead of it just being a complete blanket of rainbow foil. Speaking of which, yeah, exactly. It reminds me of a Draenei. I wonder how the card art gets made first. Like, does the artwork get made, then the text and spell? Or, yeah, exactly. Like, what is the process? Marked improvement, yeah. Oh, a swamp. Okay. It's a pretty nice little swamp. How many foils? Well, I'm not really counting that. We've gotten, should be a foil in every pack. That's what the box says. But we've gotten some interesting, like, fabled cards, and then, like, a planeswalker. They're a little blurry right now. There are indeed headphones that are made of cloth and whatnot. That sometimes, like, ASMR people or, like, influencers and whatnot will do sponsorships for those. And, totally, maybe it's good and everything, but overall, I would say it's probably not the healthiest thing to fall asleep with headphones on. Okay, why is this opening so... They're opening so interesting. Ogres are like onions. Here we go with Shrek. Shrek references. It's almost hard to tell what you're looking at here. I would say that overall, this set has a very just kind of like pretty safe, pretty kind of like Magic the Gathering basic kind of vibe. It's certainly not bad. It's interesting. I like the fabled frame for sure. Now that is really that is gorgeous. Wow. And literally just a common card. I bet that foil was crazy. Fried rice and steamed vegetables. I mean, that would be like a really nice profile picture if you like really zoomed it in and, well, it was like in focus. That would be a really nice profile picture. Oh, we haven't seen that one. Thank you, you boo. And yeah, same to you about the rest of the year. W, uncle. And I like the eclipse with like the sun or something, maybe like a fiery moon, I don't know. Hello, Marauder. I'm really not a merfolk person. I just don't care about merfolk, really. I'm not interested in merfolk. Of course, it reminds me of Murlocs from World of Warcraft. UNC is like it's kind of like an abbreviation or slang for uncle. Interesting one. A very vibey artwork. I really like these colors. Really nice. Maybe ant, like A-N-T. A. A-N-T. It's ant. Yeah, it's short for ant. This is an interesting one. Freaky merfolk. They're like cat merfolk. Music, where are you, music? Trademark it, yeah. Interesting one. Another really nice basic land. Wow. Wow, that is gorgeous. Oh yeah, it reminds you of kind of like Davy Jones a little bit. Oh no, I know what you're talking about, I believe, one of those creatures. Well, kind of like Davy Jones, but I guess I don't know, there's probably other creatures in that series. I think this sculpture is so good. Yeah, I'm sure I am not necessarily picking up on all of the utility of some of these cards. Tentacles. It wouldn't be, an OVT stream without some tentacles at some point. Duplicates. Made a whole deck of giants. That would be fun. Ooh, that's so nice. Celestial Reunion. It's a mythic. I wonder if there's a full art of this. That is gorgeous. I really like that. And actually, there are some other cards that it goes so well with the Twin Flame one. There's probably some other cards that I would probably like for the binder, but no one jumps out. Spiral into Solitude. So that is a pretty interesting card. Paranoia can drive Kitkin to isolate themselves. Then their neighbors begin to whisper, and their fears become true. Ooh, that one's so rough one. Isolation is certainly it's interesting. It can be a beneficial thing, and yet it can also be dangerous. It's like with those things, you know? Yeah, up and a down, a give and a take. Okay, literally a worm. Literally a worm. Worm card. Safe travels. You boo. We officially have a worm. And then a merfolk. Well, I hope you enjoyed your food, Cryptic. The poison on their blades is nothing compared to the poison in their hearts. Wow. Oh, waiting for it to cool down, I see. He wished for isolation, and Shadowmoor replied, Blossom Bind. He's out there sniffing their hand. Yeah, it's probably a little hard to see. You know, I feel like that one common card is still the only common card I think we've seen that had the extended arm, like the extended frame artwork. That's so interesting. Wow, that's Bando right here. Interesting, like, moth card. Oh, with the little eclipse in the back. It's interesting, this card. Like, if they hadn't included someone with blue right here, it would be such a red card. And then that little subtle blue in the corner. So you could say that the two blues, help kind of pull you in to the middle in a way. Very nice. Well, that's some fire bending right there. I'm glad the food turned out good. 2 rares. You know, it's really funny to actually say something about firebending, knowing that, the last pack, oh that's right, the last box we opened was Avatar The Last Airbender. The fact that there was actually an Avatar The Last Airbender in Magic the Gathering is wild. I mean, really, any of the universes beyond that it's like, wow, never saw that coming. Wow, they open so easy, like it's just, when they open it easy, you get chaotic in a way. The last Airbender fighting game? Okay, that seems... It seems kind of interesting, actually. I feel like that's something that was probably a dream that Minnie had for a long time. Yeah, it feels totally unnecessary now. But, I don't know, they're probably continuing the series anyway, so Yeah, Iroh is definitely a very, very wise character, full of a lot of great lessons. Really, the whole show, Avatar: The Last Airbender, is really phenomenal. And does have a lot of profound things you can learn from. Wait, you know, if the Kyoshi Warrior Suhi is in that fighting game, I may have to buy it if it's on Steam when the time comes. Then we can all play it against each other. So Rain, you said you think the art outside the border is for colorless. Oh, I see, and not artifact, okay. Still have Soul Gallery to play, yeah, that's really true. We suddenly got into like a bunch of cards we haven't seen yet. This was pretty fascinating. Then we have our Irritate foil. Oh wow. A foil basic land. That's pretty. Yeah, that perspective was pretty wild on the frog one. Yeah, I do like that quite a bit. That is pretty nice. Music going hard. The Angie Orchestra back as they should. Oh wow. Forgot to, oh well, I'll just keep piling them up. Now we're getting into tons of duplicates. Oh, what the heck is this one? Squawk Roaster. That's all you needed to see. Best card, yeah. Firebird. Unberry. Wow. A high budget anime. That's an interesting perspective. Little fairies causing mayhem. Oh wow, foil version of this one. With a little bit more care to the foil, which I appreciate. Really complements the artwork. Oh, another foil land. Ooh, gorgeous. And with the little eclipse in the background. I like that a lot. The little figures in the water, that's gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I really like that. Another example of the flailing really complementing the art. That's gorgeous. Oh wow. Yeah, an island. At first I thought it was a swamp. You imagine someone joins the stream and they have the idea that I say swamp and not swamp. Oh my goodness, I'm not a fan of how like how weirdly these tear on an island. Duplicates. A rather productive day. Too strong. Yeah, I think it's just the quality of these packs. You know, they're made a little different. Oh my goodness, this is gonna sound really horrible. This is gonna sound really horrible. It's just a theory. it's just a theory. But maybe the packs that are made in the USA are made for a weaker group of like a weaker group of customers that need like an easy to open, like low resistance, just you know, like they don't want to have to like work for it. I could be totally wrong though. It could just be the set or whatever, but I mean, there is like a foil in every pack. It's wild. Cancelled instantly, yeah. Here's Johnny. I didn't say that, Rain. You did. Well, some of the Japanese. Oh, you're talking about Magic, yeah. The Japanese packs or Magic. You know, I think even those are more tight. Although, when you get to like Pokemon and stuff like that, then the packs are much longer and have like all that airspace. But it's interesting. Oh yeah, I look forward to returning to Silk Song and taking on those challenges. Well, Auntie's looking a little hungry. Oh, actually, she's feeding you. Come here, you little urchins. Auntie's trying a new recipe, and I need some tasters. Hello, dead miner. Shaw. You double it and give it to the next person? It could taste really good though. Could you imagine it's like actually just normal yummy fish? And then she's really like the nicest aunt. Angel review cards. Card packs too easy to open. Requires more struggle. Yeah. You don't want to try that bread. Yeah, I could have your missing party members in it. Just needs a Snickers bar. She looked kind of happy. Wait, why does this look like it's from Lord of the Rings? Like it kind of looks like they're in Bag End. Bildo's house, yeah. Giant fall. Gives him free feet. First and are pretty much Magic the Gathering habits. Yeah, that's a good point. Of what it looks like. Okay, now I feel like I'm playing Skyrim. Hello, Night here. And Wall Rider. Oh, interesting. Our Oku Planeswalker. Tending to the waifu. The Ternaya. The Ternaya Orc Fairy Elf. A favorite candy bar. I'm not sure that I have one. Oh, this one's pretty interesting. It's so cute. It's a Sapling Nursery. And we are with the Fabled frame. I haven't seen any oil Fabled frame. I don't know if that's a thing. Oh, like the tree, the wise tree or whatever. That looks like a fun that one game. Cuphead. Cuphead. Okay, now we have some Game of Thrones characters. The tree looks like medieval art face. I guess I'm not super familiar. Winter's coming. And another nice mountain. Oh, a White Walker, yeah. And then suddenly with this music, the artwork gets closer and we fly into soaring off into the distance. That would be crazy. And then it opens up full view, and then it's a Magic the Gathering game, a huge open world where you can jump through the different dimensions. It's like Crimson Desert, but Magic the Gathering. That would be crazy. Like, I'm actually surprised they haven't made a true, like, Magic game. But, yeah, it's probably not worth it for them. Wait, there's no token on the back of this? Wow, they got me. I have not seen Murder Drones. I know of it, but I have never watched it. More White Walkers. Music going hard. I sound like Sin. Interesting. Nagi. If they're here, they probably know. I believe that's like their profile picture. I'm not sure. Only Magic, like they've created multiple video games, but I doubt any of them are like third-person action adventure games. Magic Legends. Oh, but it was canceled. Dream Harvest. Wow. Aries going like hard. Another double rare pack. Okay, yeah, is it Sin? I don't know. Oh, a zombie drone. I bet it's entertaining. Wow, this is an interesting mountain. I like that. It's like an aura in a way. cute but creepy. I feel like many of you enjoy cute but creepy. Bird. Whoa, that's pretty neat. All good in your butt, no pun intended. Yeah, because you're right, that's wild. He says the movement is insane. What movement? Thank you for the headpats. Merfolk. Luca's eye. Oh, the body arching into the punch, I see. Like the artistic movement. Wait. Oh wow, yeah, I know this card, Grave Shifter. Like one that has, well, I guess the one that I've seen a bunch of. Has like a big like gray sort of like troll sort of zombie creature. That's interesting. Let's see it, and then it's also the changeling. That's an interesting artwork. Rim World, I've not heard of that. The flavor text on Grave Shifter. Wait, flavor text? What is that? You mean like the description? Old 40k artwork? Interesting. Champion of the Weird. The fire cards are so fiery. Schwab. You're eating, you adore. Enjoy your errand, Mahi. Interesting. End up on one of those shows where they like heat mattresses and stuff. How many packs are there? I don't know, there's like still a pretty decent amount. I feel like we're halfway through. Maybe not even. Enjoy your lurking shock. Oh yeah, 36 packs. Yeah, I think you're right. Or is it 30? Oh, Alex. You know, I totally don't recall what the card was and Yarla was asking about. I don't know if we've already gotten it. Hello, Bruiser. Ooh, this was interesting. Thirst or identity. You think it's 30? Possibly. Oh wow. Oh, Fountain. This one, they've added quite a bit of these over time. I'm pretty sure. They were in the old Lorwyn, the blue ones? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not familiar. Iceland, yeah. Pretty sure how the Fountain is one that people like to play with by the... At least going back to like... Guilds of Ravnica and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, more duplicate shrubs. Well, that one's pretty neat. My kin were once flamekin who turned their heat inward, following the horrors of the invasion. Wow. I mean, this almost looks like what you were describing in a way. Oh, Twilly. Oh, gorgeous. Morn song, aria. A full art of this would be crazy. That's very nice. Not sure I'll put it in the binder though, but it is pretty. The Phyrexians didn't go well for them. Wow. Jinxie owe me a soda. What soda would that be? Another double rare pack. And then the non-flail of that land, which almost looks like gingerbread houses. I don't really play any card games. I don't exactly have necessarily a lot of time to do so, as I prefer to use my time to work on things like LVT. A nuke cola, wow. Cherry Coke, interesting. They're not like vanilla cherry Coke or anything like that. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just so many words. Like, Magic is pretty fun, and Pokemon is decent, although I haven't really played it much. But you know, the more you start working on different things, the more you find your time becomes a little bit more slim. And you have to start to choose. You have to make a decision between your time, like the little eclipse. That's an interesting one. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Just a buck per card, literally. He makes the tokens at first open? That's interesting. Fire Emblem Heroes. I've heard the name. A different swap. Looks like somewhere in Dark Souls. Like in Blight Town. I've never watched the Furin anime. I've heard that it's pretty good. Right now I'm watching Fertile Toxie. Pleasure. Oh yeah, the keep out. Yeah, they're protecting the treasure. Oh, that's interesting. Auntie's sentence. I don't know if it's auntie or auntie. I don't know why I'm saying like auntie. Value the tears in episode 1 by how beautiful it was. Wow. Of course I've seen the meme where she's like looking up. Oh. And the auntie is a goblin that has reached advanced age and holds great magic in this world. Interesting. Wait, there was another card. Why does this feel textured? It's so interesting. My favorite band? I don't have a favorite band. I don't really necessarily have a whole lot of like favorites of things. Because there's just so many things to enjoy. Stop groping the elf. Wow. Yeah, I've gotten multiple packs now with 2 rares. So I guess it's not that rare to get 2 rares. Yeah, there's just so many amazing, like, there's so much amazing music and so many great videos. I don't really have like a favorite. A robot? It is interesting. Like, why a robot? You know, when I was exploring avatars and such, sort of looking at many different options, like on boost and gun mode and whatnot, there was something interesting about the Runa avatar, and I don't know their name, but if you go on YouTube and you look up like Runa avatar, I don't know the exact title, but there's a channel where they talk about and they showcase different avatar models. And they had a video about Runa. And when I watched it, I was already curious about the model. But when I watched it, I was like, this is there's something really appealing about this avatar. And I had been used to like very humanoid with like flesh and all that kind of stuff. And the more I explored the Runa, the more I became very drawn to it. So when I went into VR chat and I went to one of those avatar worlds, I tried on a Runa avatar and I took some test photos, and something was very intriguing about it. Something really clicked. Like, I don't know if it's how like relatable it is for me or whatever, but something was very interesting. I also think too, there was almost like a relief when it came to the expression aspect, because Runas have expressions. They can emote, they can have big eyes and pupil dilation or whatever. They can smile, they can do all of these things. However, I like didn't want that exactly. I wanted to simplify. I had dealt with and worked on avatars before with different expressions and things, and while it was interesting and really enjoyable, I really liked the idea of having a more neutral expression and exploring, talking through other ways, talking through movements, speaking with no words in a way, and then of course eventually having a voice, but yeah, a goth design robot aesthetic, or a robot design goth aesthetic. And two, one thing that's kind of important to remember is that originally, although I will still be making videos going forward, originally my direction was to create a vast library of moments with angels. Like, it originally wasn't like angels, it wasn't robots. I had the intention in finding an avatar to sort of facilitate this idea. But when I looked down on YouTube, I didn't see a lot of what I was looking for. I didn't see a lot of companion style videos in the way that I was personally looking for. Ones where the individual seemed to have a life of their own that wasn't always focused on you, where they sometimes are experiencing a world around them that is outside of you. But yeah, this is a really lovely fabled art card. Foil too, so that answers the question. You can do foil ones. Yeah, Marauder, there certainly will be like more to come. Oh yeah, the cryptic, exactly. feeling safe without words is pretty important. Oh wow, 2 foils and 1 back. That's wild. I don't know, I'm really drawn to the style that I create. I like how the foil on this one lets you see details you couldn't see in the non-foil as easily. A really specific subconscious reason. Oh my goodness, every patch of it's so crazy. I'm curious, I wonder why that is Japanese gremlin or what it could possibly be. And for many, I suppose. And yeah, the design originally is from In Radio Wave, the artist In Radio Wave, which actually I believe if you do exclamation point avatar or in radio or maybe artist, I'm pretty sure I have some commands in the chat. We hardly use them, so I don't know. Oh yeah, there you go. There's some information. And also if you click the link tree in the description of the video while you're clicking the like button, then you can also find some information and links that take you to the artist and the 3D artist who I am. I don't know if I need to update any of the links though, because I believe Jinxie, the 3D asset and like model website, like marketplace. Oh wow, that's crazy. I believe they are changing their terms of service and such. Wait, this says special guest. What am I seeing here? ECL special guest? Yeah, Japanese gremlin. I know you mean. Something very interesting about that. What does special guest mean? Is it like maybe a character from a different series or something? Oh look, even the symbol is different. From the original Lorwyn block but different artwork? It is kind of fire. You're so funny, absent-minded. Art inspired by an artist, created by an artist, inspired by an artist, likely inspired by another artist, exactly. Many layers. Rare reprints. That is interesting. And it was in like an uncommon spot, I think. Wait, I want to read what you were saying for a moment. And probably yeah. But back when you were in school, the loudest always got the most attention. However, I stand out even without a loud personality. Like you could recharge your battery with chill people. Oh, I appreciate that. I think that's also a really important part too. It's something I looked for and did not find when I looked around. There are a lot of ASMR videos of very talented individuals making videos with sounds and layers and shots and designs and all those wonderful things. One thing is I pay for an Artlist subscription, and so when I edit like environment sounds and stuff, I'm using the sounds and editing them and tweaking them and adjusting them and I pay for those sounds, so it's a little different from just using like completely free stock sounds and whatnot, or using no sounds at all and just recording like ASMR sounds. So I really like the focus on the environmental sounds, even though it's a pretty big challenge, but then again, so is recording sounds too. Hello, Autumn. Hello, Black Orb. Have some good loot. I certainly have some interesting ones that I have enjoyed so far. Yeah, rock music can certainly be pretty nice to get some like explosive sort of emotional, like boom boom bang bang. A Johnny, another planeswalker. Wow, that's interesting. Another mythic planeswalker. A Johnny's such a great card. So special guests are in the theme of Lorwyn Shadowmoor, but not part of the set as for a standard format. That's interesting. Kind of like a reprint card, but with the theme of the set. Wow, double foil. A double foil, a mythic, and a special guest card. That was a crazy pack. Making videos is certainly a challenge. There's really no specific way to do it. There's no recipe, really. Of course, there's different techniques and, things you could do or learn all the time. And Diamond, if it helps, in the end, you'll find out that if you're right or wrong. Either way, it's okay to have faith in things and beliefs and things that help you wake up or have a sense of peace as you go about your day. But we don't really talk about politics and religion too much here. There's plenty of other places to do that. Especially if you're someone that, believes in God and stuff, you could talk about it at the church or in church groups online or something. Yeah, having 10 layers of sounds is certainly no easy feat for sure. There are a lot of aspects of sound design, but it's kind of like special effects. I love this phrase or whatever by a special effects artist from, I don't know, a while ago in a movie behind the scenes, who pretty much said, if you do your job right, they'll never even notice. And so with sound design, in a way, if you do really good sound design, no one will ever really, most people won't notice the intricate little details, the subtle shifting of things, the angle or the effects that you do, the tweaking. It will just become a part of the experience as a whole. He said, Rafa said that. Interesting. I don't know, I feel like I was watching a Star Wars or Lord of the Rings documentary behind the scenes or something. Are we talking about Santa Claus? Yeah, editing, it certainly does take a while, or it can. I once challenged myself to edit like, to take clips from people's, like, Twitch streams, like, from their channel. And I was trying to pitch, one time I was, before OVT, I thought for a brief time that I could become an editor. And I'm sure, you can. So, I wanted to edit for top VR chat streamers. I thought it would be very powerful if some of these individuals had a really solid YouTube channel with clips and whatnot. And I didn't necessarily clip. I would just like find their clips and kind of like source through them on Twitch and then see if I could work with it. But for a very short period of time, I challenged myself to try and basically pitch to these different creators and basically edit some clips and post them, tag them, and reach out to them and see if they were interested in having an editor. Well, I think that most either weren't financially able to, or they already had an editor, or they just didn't quite see the vision in a way, even though the clips were well received or the edits that I did. And the thing is though, I challenged myself to do them in 1 hour, each edit that I did. And I made clips for a variety. I basically looked at a list. I found a list online of like top VR chat streamers, and my thing was I'll start from the top. And if I don't get these initial like 5 or 6 streamers that I'm interested in editing for, then I'm just gonna move on. I'm not wasting any more time. And so, and especially financially, because once you get past that, then it's really hard to take on an editor, especially like it needed to be substantial in a way. So, like with my time. And so I did like 1 hour challenges to edit, and in those challenges, I learned so much. I learned so many different little techniques and got out of my comfort zone of what I was used to, like editing. And I did captions and all of that, and even, I'm not gonna say who. However, one of the edits that I did was so well received that the editor for the creator, so I edited something for a creator that I wanted to edit for, they already had an editor. That editor copied what I did. They actually took the same clips and they edited them in their own way, but copying my exact, like, formula or style. Well, the reason I know for sure that they copied it is because they ended up telling me. We got into the conversation and they actually admitted to me that they were so, like, kind of, jealous, envious, whatever, by what I had edited, that they actually tried to do the same thing. And I actually saw it before they told me. I saw it on the YouTube channel for the creator that I was trying to work for. And either way, I understood, and it was, like you said, imitation is a sincere form of flattery. But ultimately, I even know the creator in VR and their manager. I don't know if it was like their boyfriend or not, but either way, this one creator was pretty successful on the VR chat scene, and we met in VR, and it was really unique because it was the only like in-person one that I ever did. like an interview process, and it really seemed like the vision was there. The clips I had done for them were doing better than any of their clips at the time, and I posted them on my own like Twitter or X, and ultimately though they ended up like changing their mind. And I don't know how much influence came from like their manager person, but either way, in the end, I realized that no one was gonna hire me. So thus everything you know came to be. I guess like Shaka likes to say, be the change you want to see. Yes, I hired myself. It's kind of funny though. In a slight way, I kind of had a feeling. I was optimistic when I got interviewed, but then as no one was really being really interested, I realized that it was gonna be one of those things. And I hate to say it like this, I'm not trying to be rude in saying it like this, but I had a feeling that people were not understanding. Like, they didn't really see it, or maybe it's out of their comfort zone, you know, like some certainly hire editors and whatnot, but the way that I was editing, yeah, but honestly, I'm super thankful because as I was going through that process, I was like, wait, I actually don't really want to do this. So that may have been a contributing factor too. That deep down, really deep down, if I wasn't editing for like the top ones, I really, honestly, I'm not sure I would have enjoyed that process after a while, because taking people's clips and trying to make them look good, you know what I mean? Like, that is a challenging thing to do. Let me read some, like for example, some of the clips were so dry and so like dead inside, and I weaved them together and added, you know, a special magic to it that made them seem alive and full of motion and sound and, you know, just like really like wow. But maybe it was like in a way like too high quality, so to speak, and not exactly what most are looking for. And also some of them, I'm gonna be real, I just sort of just went creatively overboard. I just created like a story, clips, and yeah, I don't know what to say. Let me scroll up and read a little bit. Oh yeah, if you're recording ASMR, good luck trying to block out environmental sounds, dogs barking, airplanes, cars, you name it. Or heck, even bugs. Like, every sound in existence, it's gonna be your enemy when you're recording ASMR. So you have to either adjust things like the gain, or you have to do post like editing and post production where you are like adjusting the noise or the like the buzzing sound. Yeah, you have to basically do like audio edits a little bit to kind of take out some of that noise. It can be pretty challenging. I don't know all the intricate ins and outs of like hardware that could help with that. Yes, if I'm familiar with a film called Boy, I have no idea. Yeah. I guess that music that was earlier. Oh wow, when you do things right, people won't be sure you've done anything at all. That's actually wild. Well, like Marauder, I will say that the clips that I edited for the other creators, I was trying to do something that complemented like their style. So something that just made them look good, basically. So if they were like a comedy style like creator, I would try to make it fun and full of life and really like, you know, boom 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 and humorous. Like the editing would complement the comedy. If they were more of like a, dare I say, like gooner style creator, then I would try to make them even more sexy. I would take a clip that feels dry, but make it extra special, more enticing in a way. And then if they're kind of like a gamer, then I would try to edit in a way that went with the flow, a little bit of humor, a little bit of action, you know, how long did even Charco? Okay, still reading a little bit. That is true, Cryptic. Some people do enjoy like the background sound, so don't be afraid to incorporate that somehow into your ASMR. Yeah, Autumn, it was a good learning experience for sure. Like the editing, trying to pitch to others, and ultimately kind of being rejected in a way. The rejection, you could say, actually helped steer me. It was like one of those, I'm not sure. And then the rejection was like, well, there's, you know, you gotta go this way then. Yeah, controlling the pipeline is pretty powerful. Requires a lot of discipline for sure. And of course it could be as easy or as complicated as you want it to be. Which is also why I'm so thankful for even just this moment of holding this pack. The whole experience, every layer of it. It's just it's so hard to believe in a way. It's so magical. Of course, so, you know, no one really ever sees the journey and how long and how many different creative endeavors and failures and successes, but that's okay. Just scrolling through, I'm almost caught up. Oh yeah, when you get an ASMR mic, you want to test it out, and you can make so many sounds and whatnot. It's crazy. And it's going well, Mahi. Just sort of chit-chatting right now. Hello, Agni. And Blair. I don't really draw, no. Demon Charco and Mahi here, they definitely draw, and Marauder draws. On the Discord, we have like an art channel. It's pretty amazing. And a lot of times people will draw on the voice channels too. He says goodbye, Harvard? What do you mean? What sort of mic do I have? I do have a 3DO. I do have a 3DO mic. 3DO mic. I haven't used it for like anything quite yet. It's just another one of those things, like in the inventory, so to speak, like my gear inventory. No, you can just post in the live channel. We used to have like a fancy eye roll and all of that, but it's just too much stuff to manage. A Q100 mic decorated to look like me? Interesting. I'm not as familiar with. By the way, right next to me, I have a large square. Yeah, one boss. Are we about to fight? It does sound like that. Oh, the mic looks like a mannequin head, yeah. I have a table right next to me where I have all of the items for us to do for unboxings between the models, the different card games, the all-jointed dolls. I took like a little video for thumbnails, so I'll make like thumbnails for all of those ahead of time. Yeah, those like head microphone ones are pretty expensive, but I don't know the exact. Another hollow fountain. I think the other one was foil. Some foil light walkers. I haven't really recorded a lot of sounds yet for the videos, but I do suspect that in the future I will. Right now I've been making use of the sounds from the extensive sound library of our list that I paid for. Although there are definitely some limitations, there are definitely times where I get concerned that I won't find certain sounds that work for a world that I'm doing. And so sometimes I take other sounds and I tweak them in a way to make them work for what I need. Sleep well, Bruiser. Oh, I've definitely thought about the idea of traveling and trying to record like as a part of the travel, like audio. TC means take care. Well, tentacles. Oh yes, Bruiser, I never forget. I will say it's something that is basically on my mind every single day. Like I can never forget basically. Like I'm always aware of the DMs that I haven't responded to. And my grand plan was today, between today and tomorrow, to be fully caught up on messages and whatnot. Not to say it in a rude way, but messages can sort of feel like a death sometimes. Like it builds up and you intend on, like, you have good intention, but then the more you don't attend to it, the more it sort of builds and compounds. So that is something actually that I am, as I'm continuing moving forward with like creating, and now that I'm in this new space and whatnot, I am making some decisions that will kind of adjust how I deal with DMs. Yeah, I can understand like the awkward feeling in the vein, but I think ultimately, if you're able to sort of be rather honest when you respond, I think it works out in the end. Yeah, it's totally understandable. I mean, realistically, DMs, if you were to associate it with a mailbox with physical letters, like, well, like authors and writers and stuff, and over time people get physical letters. But with digital, it's extremely easy to send a DM, and so it's much easier for it to sort of go. I suppose with paper and pencil, it could be like that too. I mean, you could just grab a piece of paper and write something and then put it in an envelope and put a stamp on it and then send it on its way. Wow, yeah, I bet actually, I bet a lot of authors and artists and stuff, I bet they get piles of letters. That's kind of wild when you see that depicted. Oh yeah, being inactive for years, I think that was a vibe. Like, just takes a break, just sort of disconnecting. This chat is the only time you read Take Care or TC, that's wild. You give short responses so you never overstep. Yeah, there are some really nice art thoughts, for sure. I don't really play anymore either. And when I did, it was just very, very casual. Like using starter decks and whatnot, and occasionally buying some singles to intermix into it. Oh yeah, then your boss calls your phone. Yeah, ignore the DMs forever. At least with like emails and stuff, you could organize them into like folders. Oh well, we got this one, but non-foil. It almost looks like some sort of... Well, no, it's like amber. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Marauder. I know it was a little unexpected, may not have been explained in the best way, but I still have a folder on my computer. I have a folder on my computer called Potential Clients, something like that. And it has all the edits organized into folders that I did for the different creators that I was trying to pitch to. Every now and then I actually look at those edits and Minnesota season because they are pretty unique for me. But I don't dwell on it too much. I have plenty I could do. Kind of like a never-ending to-do list in a way. If it's messages, then there's literally months upon months of comments on YouTube that I have let slip by. Or it's Discord channels, or it's videos that can be filmed, streams to be streamed, thumbnails to be made. Like, the list goes on and on. But hey, at the same time though, it's such an amazing problem to have. Or a challenge, really. If only recharging wasn't necessary. You know, I have definitely had that thought recently. Of course I've had it before, but I've literally been like, oh my goodness, I'm on a roll. Why do I have to charge? Okay, last 3 packs. Oh my goodness. It does have times to get in. I feel like you've heard this song earlier. Hello, Splishy. Well, it does sound pretty productive, and in a way it is. I am really trying to get a little bit more efficient, and, well, you know, moving is certainly something that can cause things to really shift up, and, you know, just how you have things, like, perfect in a way, or, like, just right, and then all of a sudden, life is just like, and then you're like, oh dear, I guess I'll adjust, and then adjust, and then adjust, and you just keep going. One message sent. What do you mean, Rain? Like a DM? Wind Waker? Oh, is that like Zelda? A long time to get comfortable. Yeah, in a new space. Well, I guess I will address it here. I was actually in the process of sending a DM right before stream. However, yeah, flow state is a wonderful thing. I will start to mention this. You know, when you put things in perspective, kind of like mathematically and time-wise, I'm realizing that I was a different sapling in the nursery. I'm realizing that I'm gonna have to make some adjustments to how I receive mythic, how I receive like DMs and whatnot. Not that I receive like tons, but because I care how I respond, and I care about reading and all of that. I'm gonna have to make a little adjustments to the blue site because I really truly don't think it will be sustainable for me to respond to unfortunately like multi style stuff. I know that could sound like silly or whatever, but the thing is, it's like the amount of time it takes to read and comprehend and then thoughtfully respond is... Wait, why is this like the same song over and over? I feel like we hear a lot of the same songs. Okay, this one works. Okay, so there's something really kind of rough that I don't know how many are aware, but did you know that a lot of like OnlyFans and family creators, I don't know if YouTube's like ding 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 dinging me now, but did you know that there's a lot of people who actually hire agencies to respond for them, where they literally have people around the clock that are available to like type and respond or during certain times and whatnot, that pretend to be the person. And I've been listening to some videos recently on those topics, very like dark underworld kind of stuff, and frankly, it did not make me feel very good. It actually was a very unpleasant experience to hear these things, and it was something that I already kind of knew. But anyways, I'm not interested in anything like that, and not everyone does that. However, it truly is something that I have to be realistic. So, for example, people that post on like the culture websites, you know, maybe they make shorts or they take pictures and they do all these things. Well, I don't think many of them are editing or creating videos, and like some, sure, especially like VR ones, but there's always so much time and so much energy available. So I'm gonna have to be realistic and make some adjustments. And not so much that is crazy overwhelming right now, but it's the idea that as time progresses, you look down the road a little bit, you can kind of see some things that may come your way. You can kind of prepare a little bit for them. And I can easily see certain things becoming very overwhelming and unsustainable at the cost of potentially the broader perspective. And it can sound kind of icky to talk about too, especially when it comes to like financial aspects, but I don't want to do things that leave a really bad experience. And the absence of creating videos and whatnot is for me one of the worst things for me to not do. It's one of the main things I want to do. And when I'm not doing it, it weighs so heavy. And obviously there's a lot of reasons and technical this and that, but basically I have to prioritize. I have to make certain decisions, since, you know, I only have so much energy and ability outside of what I can like commission, and even like the new Mario commission, sometime after a stream, if possible, I have to get with Josiah because they've run into some challenges with the project, and so I've offered to do like a voice call so we can try to, you know, see if I can lend some assistance another perspective, if these things are complete, they won't get done. So, as much as I would love to dive into playing Final Fantasy or hanging out on the Discord like in the voice call, there are just so many big things that, like hurdles that need to be overcome, that will enable being able to enjoy those times more. There's a difference between knowing how a hot dog is made and seeing how a hot dog is made. Oh my goodness. That's wild. Yeah, Marauder, the agency thing is such a dark and massive world where they like hire shatters and stuff like that. They represent the models. Sometimes cryptic. I have to turn off music. Like I can enjoy flow state with music, but sometimes I have to just turn it all off and just have silence in a way, or ambience. That's pretty funny, Splushy. Your technique or strategy. Yeah, so having a team of people to respond to things for like game developers and companies and stuff, of course it makes total sense, but when it comes to the more personal interactions of like cultured websites, that's a pretty dark realm to be pretending and like scamming people technically. Some are okay with it, and some have no idea. Like some of these individuals, if they receive 10,000 messages, they're never responding to those messages. Like, but yet some actually, they go out of their way to hire. Like, I don't know how many of you realize how deep the rabbit hole goes in the cultured realms, especially marketing teams that curate how the Instagram should look, what sort of things that these individuals should say, people that tweet for them, people like, there is so many layers. Here we go again with the onion. To even something as simple as OF will say, if you catch my drift. Yeah, exactly, Marauder. I know, it's wild. ASMR for flow state, and when the spontaneous break core, that's a vibe. Yeah, once those hurdles are cleared, then the fun times can slowly return. Exactly. Yeah, exactly, Cryptic. Even like YouTube comments, there are people that hire people just to respond. Also, I can speak on this in a more public way because, like, it's public knowledge by this creator, but I'm not condoning this creator or like anything about it, and I'm not necessarily criticizing him. I'm just saying this so that you're informed. There's a creator named Amaranth. I remember when we joked about that this channel is secretly a semi-aggressive or like passive-aggressive drama channel. It's not. But there's a creator named Amaranth, and they were, I think, one of the first creators that I heard a confirmation of this. They have assistants that they hire, like employees or whatever, and basically those individuals respond to all her messages, and I don't know that it's disclosed. There are some creators who hire teams or people, and the employees actually disclose when they're responding. They'll have like a signature, so it's like transparent. But the broader world uses these things called agencies, and they do not disclose. And so that's also why sometimes you'll see people in their description say all DMs are like responded to by me, or I respond to all DMs personally. Sometimes I gotta say I'm a little skeptical of that. Like if I see that on someone's profile, sometimes I don't subscribe to anyone, but if you're like, researching, learning, exploring, you see things like that. This is really beautiful, by the way. I don't know who Ringo Starr is. I've heard the name. Oh my goodness, Bushy, that's wild. About people renting actors to visit their grandparents. That is really wild. Oh my goodness. Oh, a Beatle? Okay, like part of the Beatles. I got you. Grab the flip card. An auntie. And a foil of those two. A lifetime of mischief gave way to a moment of tenderness. Very nice with the music too. And then a foil Schwab. And there's one more pack. Whoa, that's pretty rough, cryptic. Yeah, I have an Instagram just to like have the name, and I posted a few things on there, but I never ever spent a moment on there. That's pretty unfortunate though. Like being falsely flagged, that is certainly an issue on YouTube and beyond. It's like being falsely flagged for things and banned and whatnot, and having like just automated responses not saved anywhere. Oh dear. Yeah, I do try to keep copies of things if possible. It's an unfortunate learning lesson, and there are some things that I'm like, oh dear, I do not have copies of certain things like artwork and emojis and stuff. Yeah, last pack, here we go. Well, that's one thing cryptic about like responding to DMs. If you're someone who creates a lot, then it takes so much energy and time to create. So you have good intention, but then over time you realize you're not actually able to respond to things as easy as you thought. That is crazy looking. Walk and posture. Hello, quest. Bell. The foil auntie right at the end. Well, this has been lovely. Another box. another lovely time together. Thank you, Mahi. Well, we have a bunch more boxes. Let me adjust the focus real quick. We have a bunch more to enjoy opening in the future, from ball jointed dolls to Digimon and Pokemon and more magic eventually, and One Piece, Yu-Gi-Oh!, White Schwartz, some Quidavivia, like frame or girls, like models to build. Lots more in the future to enjoy. And yes, a wonderful unboxing along with wonderful conversations. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you on the Discord and beyond. Bye bye for now.